Hey, hello, hello. Yeah, how are you guys? How hope you guys are doing great. Yeah, today changed up my schedule a bit because it's been a while, maybe 3 days without streaming. Just want to see how this goes. Hello, Rahit Tete, how are you doing? Glad to see you. Yeah, I want to do some medieval art. And see how because I want to do 4 hours today. Hopefully I'm able to do that. So yeah, okay, let's get to it right away. By the way, because this is a new time, unusual time that I usually stream, that I rarely streamed in, if you're new here and you want to see some of the renders we have made, you can go to the Discord server. You can join the Discord server. Use the ! Discord to go to our Discord server, and you can see the live stream renders here. You can see some of the renders we have done there. This we did a few days ago, and yeah, some renders are there if you want to see what we have done before. Okay, so I have a few reference images on my second screen that I'm going to be looking at. So I guess we can get right to it. Let me add my shortcuts so you can see them on the left, and let's start blocking out the scene. I want a wider camera angle, so let me use a 25mm and also change the aspect ratio to something like that. Maybe bring this somewhere there. In Pinterest, search for cathedral churches. You want us to do a cathedral church? I think I've done a few of those, but I want to try something different. Let's start by blocking out this. I want a path like where, let me import, let me go to my characters here, just import, search for, because I have a medieval character here that I think is fitting for our scene. So this guy here, I'll make him editable. There is just use ! Discord if you want to check out our Discord server, like that. Okay, so this is the medieval guy we're going to use, soldier we're going to use, and I think I want his cloak to be a bit longer, so I'm just going to grab this edge loop, just turn on proportional editing, and just make it a bit longer like that. So this is our medieval soldier, and I want a few variations of him. So one thing I could do again is let me make sure that let me see the polygon count we have. It's not too bad, but for the cloak here, it's just too much resolution. So let me decimate this bit because we want a lot of soldiers in our scene. I think that doesn't look too bad. Okay, so let's block out our scene. It's going to move him in the center, rotate him 90 degrees, and just make sure that he's part of a collection. So Roman soldier, so I can instance that collection very easily. Instance Roman soldier, yeah, like that, very easily. So as I was saying, I want a path, so let's block that out. Just going to start with a plane, just add a few subdivisions to that, like that, and I'm going to duplicate this a few times. like that. So this is a platform that they're going to be working on. And I want it to look like a wooden platform. So let me search for a wood material here in my asset library or quick functions add-on. Grab something like this, use that. Something like that, maybe something more old. Yeah, something like that. How many hours you spend on Blender daily? I usually spend about 3 hours a day on Blender. Yeah, I want this to be like a platform that can give it a rounded edges a bit. Let me auto smooth, and then added normals like that. Then another thing I could do is just add displacement modifier like this with a noise or a clouds texture like that, but I want this to be above the solidify modifier, so above this. You can see we get a nice displacement like that. Now let me just reduce the strength a bit, but now the platform is bending, but in a more uniform scale, which is not what I want. So I can change the coordinates to UV. Now I can, if I UV unwrap this, now everything is more organic. So our platform looks a bit more organic like that. Another thing I could do is just cut some of these in different areas, so that we have a platform like that, and maybe some of them just go over each other a bit like that. So we have a very uneven surface that maybe can even just scale this in like that. And just checking the UVs, I can move these around and get a different displacement like that. And I'm also going to grab a few of these, just rotate them, because I want this to be a platform that the soldiers are working on. So it needs to be able to support their weight. Something like that. And let's just rotate these. Now, yeah, we have something like that. Then we can add, you can use an array to just make it more continuous. So something like this. And I think my camera is a bit too fast, so and these legs should also extend a bit. Yeah. Let me give this guy a pause. I'll go back to the original version here. Give him a walking pause. Let's make sure that this clock, everything here. to remove the solidify and the bevel here, so that this is, if I see what's going on here. Get this cut. Just pause him without doing too much work. Just going to move his leg a bit forward. Not too much, just a bit, so that we can infer some movement. And for this part, I'll just use proportional editing. Okay, let's look at how this looks in the render here. And I want the camera to, maybe let's use at 30 millimeter or 25 or 50. Let's go back to 50 millimeters. Just then we need some motor. Let me first save this. Whoa. Okay. And now with that, we can duplicate this collection again. I'll just first bring here, duplicate this. I'll call him soldier. Yeah, soldier 111. Can disable this one here. Hello, Shri Shiva. Now is live. That's cool. Thank you. Hello, Dream Tefo. How are you? Now this one, I will be maybe holding a flag or something. So let's make his fingers do that. Fold a bit, and his wrist. I think there was an option to change the resolution of the image to rescale them. So let me do that, because right now they seem to be slowing down. Let's scale this down. Let's make sure it's save. So because these textures are too heavy, and since we're going to have a lot of characters, they can quickly use up a lot of RAM. So let me resize this. Resize. This is 8K. That's too much. I want 1080. Let's just use 1080 by 1080. Yeah, something like that. Now that should make the viewport even feel much faster than it is. And thank you, Attorney Rao. Hello, Zigzag. How are you? Glad to see you. So you're also available for this time of this time, because I usually stream in the morning my side. Anyway, so for this, I want the cloak to also bend a bit, and we can hand this guy a flag. So I'll create a circle, just use about 8 vertices, scale it down. There's this, extrude up. Just want something like a flag pole. Merge at the center, grab these. Just round off that corner. So we have that, and I think I can also subdivide this here, just squash it on the X or Y axis like that. Auto smooth. Now we can give this a metal material. Just cube project here. Let me look for kind of a grab. Let me see what metal can I use. Yeah, something like that should be fine for our metal. I'm just going to parent this to this bone here. Control P bone. And now I can disable this collection and just this also should be in that collection. So collection 001, and the instance that's soldier as well. Instance that's soldier as well, like that. So now we have two soldiers. What we can do is add a plane, because we want a few of them, like this, and just go to, I'll add them into their own collection called soldier group. Can I disable that for a second? Come back to this. I'll give it a particle system here. We need just about maybe 100. Actually, 50 is enough. Maybe that might also be too many. Now, I don't want the instancer to be visible, but I want it to render out the collection, which is the soldier collection. And it seems not to be rendering that out. Let me see. Okay, so because the soldier collection is an instance, it seems that the particle system doesn't support instances. So instead of using this, I guess we can just, since these are instances, they don't really add a lot of computation power, so I can just grab them, just duplicate them onto this area. So can make a few of these. Now we need obviously more variation here, but let me go to the world setting for a bit. Hello, Mohammed Tariq. Hello, fire in the sky. Burning trap. How are you? Okay. I want to add some volumetric in there. So shader principal volume. Just connect that to the volume. Now the background can stay dark, and I don't really want to use the density. I just want to use the emission strength, and to have more control over the volumetric, I'm just going to use a cube like this. Just set its view to this. Give it a shader principal volume as well. Just I reduce the density to something like 0.1. come in here, just play with the light. I'm just going to use a very large area light. Let's get rid of this. Let's use 0.05 maybe. Let's add a water surface. And this, I'm just going to use a new material with a displacement. So texture, noise, texture. If you have the quick functions add-on, you can just select the noise texture and a principal shader, and you can hit the bump connection and quick button, and it will set up the bump node for you like that. Let me see how this node looks, how this setup looks. Yeah, something like that. Just make the water a bit dark and reflective. If we make it metallic, I think it will look even much better. Yes, make it a bit. Something like that. And so right now these are just walking into empty space. So let's create a cursor entrance. So I'll just add a plane here. And let me look for a brick material. Something like this maybe. Extrude up. Now we can use object mapping for this. Scale this other bricks a bit up like that. I'll round off these edges a bit, just like that. Auto smooth. So we can have this here. Actually, we can just use a mirror modifier. And can grab this, insert, grab this, and can just extrude along the numbers just a bit. Now I can divide this as well. Just grab a few of these faces. Have something like that. Let me turn on ambient occlusion and screen space reflections. One thing we are lacking is the back there. We don't really have a lot of interesting things to see in the background, and I want this to look more murky than this. So I'm just going to grab this, Shift D, have another volume here. Just make it a bit more emissive. I should have a different material. So something like that. Another thing I want to do is let me first grab this water or this fog and give it a slight tint in color, just a bit. I think it's this, just something like that. We don't seem to have a lot of contact here, so let me first grab this, pull it down. What I can do here, I want this wall here to extend, so let me first add that extension. So let me grab this wall, extrude it like that. And this should also have a mirror object around here, so empty. So grab this, give it a mirror modifier, just select this, empty, like that. And we need to extend this further, so let me just do that. Let's add a few of these. Yeah, this wall here is too plain, so what I'm going to do is just grab a mesh like this, just have it like that. And I'm going to look for some rocks that I could use. So rock, we have a few of these rocks. I just need one or two. Can add that to my scene. Now let me make sure that the resolution of the texture is not too big. So it uses it uses this texture, and let me resize this as well to 512 by 512, like that. I think that would help with the resolution and the responsiveness of our scene. So just going to grab this. What I'm going to do is create a plane like this, give it a just give it a new hair system like this. I can use that many. And system requirements, you can just use, if you're looking for my specs, you can just use !mark specs like that, and it will tell you. Under render, I'm going to use the stone I've just imported in. So, and in the instancer, I don't want to show the instancer, but we want to randomize the scale, and we don't need that many stones. Let's try 500 stones. And let me just show you how this looks, so you can see how this piece looks here. It adds some detail to the wall, and if we add a displacement modifier to it, so a displacement modifier above these, that uses a clouds texture, we get even more variation in the rock surface. So you can see without doing much work, you can get a lot of variation. And if we go to the particle system, we can continue. If we turn on advanced, we can also randomize the rotation of this block. Just a bit. Like that. And you can see how that looks from the surface. You see. Okay. So that's how things look. And the great thing about this is that now, since I have this setup, I can easily just extrude it to the other end. And I will have more stones on the other side as well. So you can we are now starting. We have some gaps within these stones, so that's a result of having less polygons or less particles. So you can increase the particles to have something like that. Now maybe even here, I can just extrude the rock to be under like that. To go under, that's here, can just push them a bit down so that they don't get in the way. Yeah, something like that. Let me grab my camera for a bit. Just now we need to have some flags and more variations in the soldiers here, and I want some of these soldiers to look really dirty because right now they look super clean. So let's go back to the original group here. So these soldiers here, I'll first grab this clock. I want it to look dirty, so okay. Then I just crashed. Let's see how this looks in cycles, by the way. Just go to cycles. Doesn't look that different, which is good, I think. So let's continue with Eevee. Again, wanted to first look at this soldier here. Just want to play with the roughness of this because I think it's looking a bit too shiny. It seems for some reason every time I try to change this, Blender just crashes. Yes, something like that. And I want to make this a bit dirty. So what I can do is use an ambient occlusion node like this, and I also find a dirty texture. So let me import under my resources. Let's see. Something that would work as that. Yeah, something like this can work. So this here. Yeah, Blender is crashing a lot for some reason. And okay. So this is what I have. I want it to make it I want it to look dirty, so I'll give it a curves adjustment. Just make it a bit darker. Simply dark like that. Grab the ambient occlusion node. Add a car ramp. convert car ramp. I don't know if it would look, no, that should just come from the bottom. So I'll just use a geometry node here, which is here, and I can add a mix RGB node as well, and I want to separate convert. Oh, there is another. If you use the texture normal, is it under vector normal map? No, vector normal. Yeah, this use the object. So let me see. Bring the normal. Let's see. If I go to object info, it's not normal here, but input texture coordinates. Yeah, let's try using this. We want to get the normal direction of this. I don't know why it doesn't seem like I'm getting the right direction. I think this is not too bad, and if we rotate the angle, we get kind of a unique mask, and this is good for making a dirt mask. So you can see the bottom here will get some dirt, and the top here will get some dirt. Now we can adjust it using a convert car ramp, I think. Just use this as the mask. And our dot here can be color 2. So let me ask, is Blender stable for you guys? Because for me it seems to crash quite often for some reason. Yeah, I think I want to scale this normal map, so I'll add a vector math node. Vector math. Convert. There should be a vector math node, which I'm not seeing here. A vector transform. Nope. Convert. Yeah, vector math. I just want to scale this using the multiply, the scale attribute. Okay, this just simply changes the angle. What about multiply? Okay, just does the same thing. Anyway, so I can just play with the normal map here because I want to make this look more dirty. Now you can connect this finally to the base. Yeah, now it looks much more better, like dirty, and can add our roughness as well, and we can even use this as the normal map, or we can blend the normal map with a vector bump map here. Just grab the color here, put it in the height, just so we have some detail, some bump detail in the Yeah, like that. And we can also, because the the bump pump seems to go everywhere, we can also just use the mask we created here to help just to help determine where the displacement is going to be. So I just want it mostly there. So seems my internet is kind of shitty right now, but I think it's okay now. Anyway, so can bring back all the rest of the group, and you can see now they have the same dirty texture. One thing I'm noticing is that maybe we have too many soldiers, so the scene looked much better with just a few of them. So let me just randomly remove some of them. Just going to mirror this one, the other side. Change the lighting a bit. I think if I add a light this side as well. We can grab a tree texture that we can add in the background. So let me go to my materials, textures, and look for some tree textures. Resources, plants. Let me see, can this... Let me try this. Let's grab any of these trees and see. Actually, before, let me try this one here and just add it as a plane on a surface like this. Hello friends from Russia. How are you? I'm great. How are you doing? How is Russia? Alpha clip. Yeah, I want this to have an alpha map, so just use that. Yes. Just grab this. So we have this, and I can add in some subdivisions just to make it more organic, like that. Rotate it 90 degrees. I'll create a new collection called plants just start randomly scattering them in here. Just you can use a particle system, but just going to do this by hand. Hopefully it looks good. Nice to hear. Do something like this. And we can also grab another mesh like this, just add it in the water so that we have some rocks within the water. So just going to separate this into its own object. So we have some rocks in the water like that. And also let me go back to the particle system here. Just make this its own particle system. Reduce the count to something like 200, so we don't have too many. And you can see they are adding some nice detail to our scene. And I can also increase the scale of these just a bit. No problem. EV Gen. My English is also not that great, so no problem. Yeah, something like that. Now let me add something here to make the scene more visually interesting. Just going to add a plane that emits lights. So just create a new material, give it an emission shader. Just add something a bit more interesting there. So I'll also just make sure that this is not opaque. Make sure I have bloom on. So something like that. I can add an area light as well here. Just something like that. Just give it a bluish look. Let me see how this looks in cycles. Not too bad. Let's go back to Eevee. Just get rid of this because it doesn't seem to. Now we can add more things in the back there. For example, let me just grab a tree like this, add a plane, then a new tree like that. Just use is alpha because I want some kind of silhouettes in the background there. So I mean, just make sure that I have alpha clipping turned on, no shadows. So we have some trees in the back, but I want like dead trees. I think that will look much better. So dead tree texture. Dead tree. Something like this. Yeah, something like this. It will give us some nice silhouettes, especially for the background. And something like this. These don't seem to have an alpha channel, but me see. There is an add-on called sapling tree, so let me try and use that and see. Because is it sapling? It's a tree generator. Sapling tree like that. Now, let me use that to generate the tree. So it is under. Let me see. Is it under here? Shift A mesh curve. Yes, sapling tree. That gives us a tree like that. Let's see what types of shapes they have. They have conifers, that cylindrical frame, and we don't need leaves, we don't need anything, we just need some shapes for the background there. So let me just use these. Hi from Brazil. Awesome channel. Thank you. Thank you. I'm from Uganda, East Africa. You can have something like that. Let me see without the volumetrics. I really need the volumetrics to make this pop. Let's see if I get rid of this. Let's make this 0.05. Now I'm going to go to my quick functions and just play with the colors a bit. Can duplicate this noise, just have another one that's a bit more down here. Yeah, Africa, man, Africa. Okay. Let's see, what else can we add? We could add some stars, things like that. Let me see, try this from a different angle. Okay. Hey, thank you, Bruno. How's Brazil? I hear it's an amazing place. Just adding some more plants in the foreground. Let's also add some chains. Just going to add a curve there that goes down there, so I'm just going to make sure that they're all set to vector subdivide, then this can be set to automatic. Now this can just have geometry. Just adding some small details. I like that. Let's also add what are they called? Not a trebuchet, but I see them a lot in Age of Empires. And the great thing is that we don't really have to model it too much. As long as we get the the shape correct, the silhouette, it should come out looking nice. So just duplicate this. Control link, materials, just mirror this on the Y. I think it is shaped a bit like this. Then on clipping, yes. Yes. Well, thank you for subscribing, Mr. Arian Mon at I'm Ismaus. I am Ismaus, called Ismaus. Yes. And just going for mostly the silhouette and not the accuracy. If you are an Age of Empires fan, you know what this is, what I'm trying to make here, but just don't remember the name it's called. Something like that. Now I'll grab one of the rocks in the rock collection. Where's the rock collection? Let me just add a new rock. Something like this. Just add it in there. Can shape this a bit more, and I think we can also reuse these rocks in the background and see if they fit. Also grab one of these towers again, just have it in here, and I can add in these lookouts, add a light in there. Catapult. Yeah, I think it's called a catapult, but in Age of Empires they have a cooler name for it, and they don't call it a catapult. Just forgetting what they call it there. let me grab another soldier here like this, just post him, have him posted here. Doesn't seem to be too visible, so let me just tilt this wall a bit. I want him to be or maybe we can have this rotated a bit like that, and maybe do the same thing for these. And I can have this guy duplicated here. I want to be able to see his silhouette at least. Like that. No, not a trebuchet. Trebuchet is a different one. Is it Magdil? Magdil? Something like that. It starts with an M. Magnori? Something like that. Is it? Forgetting. Let's also add some climbing ropes here. Now, also want, let me see if I add a light here. And a soldier, one of these guys up there. Maybe this is some torch. Actually, let me just create something for him to hold that's emissive. Like that. And I'll just duplicate him again. Just have another one. Trebuchet is have a technical name. A trebuchet is much larger than this. They are usually also tall. This the one I'm talking about has wheels, like 4 wheels. A trebuchet I don't think has wheels. Tambri? Not sure. I've never heard of that one though. Not sure. These walls don't look super huge, so let me make them larger. Just move these guys up here. Okay. Yeah, I think I can also just add another light up here. Just yeah, I think these also need to be separated a bit more so we can have a gate. For the gate, I'm just going to reuse this. Hello, Evgen. Okay. So how long have we gone? It's 1 hour. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do for today. I'm going to stream tomorrow as well. Hey brother, you are up late in Uganda. Good to see you rocking out awesome scenes in our time. It's not really late here. It's 8. It's 8:16. So I usually sleep at around 12. So is it? Yeah, 12. Yeah. So it's not really late for me just yet. Yeah, I think today this is where I'm going to end the stream. I'll be doing this tomorrow again, but doing a totally different scene. And yeah, let me just see, what did we do previously. Let me see. Yeah, again, if you want to check out the final renders, you just have to go to the Discord server and see some of the work we have done in previous live stream, how we did this and a few other things. Yeah, I'll see you